Welcome to my live session. No, I'm not that rich. तब तो मम्मी की बेस्ट फ्रेंड मिल ही गई मम्मी को. उसका मुंह है ने भला है तो कैसे हो? सबसे ज्यादा किताब से ज्यादा कपड़ा है। नहीं है तो the disease causing macroorganisms. These are the disease causing microorganisms. Among these are the disease causing microorganisms are the pathogens. The disease causing microorganisms. Among these are the pathogens. The pathogen is a that can cause disease in some other organisms such as human. Typically, the term describe an infectious microorganisms such as the virus, bacterium, protozoan, prion, virus, or the fungus. They are we refer to an infectious what agent or the germ organism. Pathogen can spread to the air by direct or indirect contact or through the blood, breast milk, and other. That is causing microorganisms. What is not true about the virus? Virus first term was coined by the Dutch microbiologist, that is Bejernik. Nucleic acid genome of the virus can be DNA or RNA based. DNA-based viruses are usually single-stranded, and RNA-based viruses implement more genetic changes as compared to the DNA. ठीक है, सी नंबर का वो DNA बेस्ड रहेगा तो डबल स्टैंडर्ड रहेगा. RNA-based viruses accumulate more genetic changes mutation as compared to the DNA-based. RNA-based viruses accumulate more genetic changes mutation as compared to the DNA-based viruses. What is not true? RNA-based viruses accumulate more genetic changes mutation as compared to the DNA-based. nucleus acid genome of the virus can be DNA or the RNA based. Virus term was coined by the Dutch microbiologist W. Bejernik. A bacteriophage is a bacteriophage with a tail, new form bacterium infecting virus. A bacteriophage is a virus infecting bacteria. Bacteriophage is a virus infecting bacteria is bacteria. Virus its outer cover is made up of protein and nucleic acid is present in it. मम्मी को भी बुला रही थी. A bacteriophage is a virus infecting bacterium. ठीक है, virus bacteriophage is a virus infecting bacteria. No virus can survive in ocean water. No virus can infect bacteria. No virus can change the cellular transcription. No virus can change the cellular transcription activity in the host cells. No virus can change. No virus can change the cellular transcriptional activity in host cells. No virus can survive in ocean में गलत. No virus can infect a bacteria. No virus can change. No virus can change the cellular transcription activity in the host cell. गलत. Viruses lack enzyme necessary for the generation of the energy. ठीक है. Virus can be cultured in any synthetic medium. गलत. Viruses are transmitted from one organism to another by biological vectors only. 1 and 3. Only one. Which of the following is correlated to the coronavirus? All, that is SARS, MERS, COVID-19. Which of the following does not have any enzyme in all its cells? Virus को पास नहीं है. Lichen, bacteria, and algae, all these have enzymes in its cells. Virus generally relies on the enzymes already present in the host cells or make enzymes that it needs using its own genome inside the host cell. Some viruses have no enzymes at all inside the viral particle itself. In other viruses, a small number of the enzymes can be found inside the viral particle itself and also on the surface of some species. Some viruses. Enzymes found in some viral peptides are reverse transcriptase. RNA, thus the option is the right answer. The term ACE2 is talked about in context of the ACE2 genes introduced in the genetically modified plant, development of India's own satellite, radio collars, spread of the viral disease. The recent global pause during the COVID-19 pandemic was due to the SARS-CoV-2. In the context of the vaccine manufactured to prevent COVID-19 pandemic, consider the following statement. The Serum Institute of India produced COVID-19 vaccine called the Covishield using mRNA platform. The Sputnik V vaccine is manufactured using Sputnik vector based protocol activated pathogen based vaccine. ये तो सही है और वो वाला भी ठीक है. B 2 and 3. 2 and 3. That is the Sputnik 2 vaccine manufactured using bacteria-based platform. Sputnik 5 vaccine is manufactured using vector-based platform. Covaxin is an inactivated pathogen-based vaccine. Covaxin is an inactivated pathogen-based vaccine. Sputnik 5 vaccine is manufactured using the vector-based platform. Covaxin is a inactive pathogen-based Covaxin is an inactivated pathogen-based vaccine. The serum Covaxin vaccines of India, which is approved by the WHO, manufactured by the Serum Institute. What is the volume of each dose of the COVID vaccine given to adult? 0.5 ml. Which country exported vaccine to the India? That is Russia. What is the following? Which of the following is the mRNA vaccine used against COVID-19 vaccine? mRNA, that is the Moderna. Which of the following is mRNA vaccine used against? The mRNA vaccine used against the COVID-19 infection. How do COVID vaccines stimulate an immune response? By introducing hyphenated SARS-CoV virus. How do vaccines work to provide immunity? By introducing a modified version of different, by placing the virus in a modified version of the different virus. How do by placing the virus in a modified version of a different virus. How do vector vaccines work to provide immunity? By placing the virus in a modified version of a different virus. How do vector vaccines work to provide immunity? By placing the virus in a modified version of a different virus. Viral vector vaccines use a modified version of a different virus as a vector to deliver protection. Hello. I'm good. आप बताओ कैसे हो? इधर भी देख लो. Okay, I know. Ranja Sukla, all the best. How do vector vaccines work to provide immunity? By placing the virus in a modified version of the different virus. That is the viral vector vaccine use a modified version of a different virus as a vector to deliver protection. Viral vector vaccine uses a harmless virus to smuggle the instruction for making. Viral vector vaccine use a different version of a different virus as a vector to deliver protection. Viral vector vaccine use a harmless virus. Viral vector vaccine use a harmless virus to smuggle the instruction for making antigen from the disease-causing virus to giving protection against it. The difference to the monoclonal antibody often mentioned in the news. Consider the following statement: They are man-made proteins. They stimulate immunological function due to their ability to bind to specific antigen. They are used in treating viral infection like that of the Nipah. ठीक है. They are man-made proteins. They stimulate immunological function due to their ability to bind to specific antigens. With reference to the monoclonal antibodies often mentioned in the news, that is, um, consider the following statement. They are man-made proteins. They stimulate immunological functions. They stimulate immunological function due to their ability to bind to specific antigen. They are used in treating viral infection like that of the Nipah virus. Wolbachia method is sometimes talked about with reference to which of the following: controlling the virus virally spread by the mosquitoes. ठीक है? Which disease among these is transmitted by the bite of an insect, that is dengue. Dengue virus is caused by the bite of which of the following, that is the Aedes. Dengue is a fever caused and transmitted to another human by the protozoa and the female anopheles mosquito. And female virus, dengue is a fever caused and transmitted to another human by virus and female anopheles mosquito. Which of these decrease in human the body due to dengue fever? Which of these decrease in human the body platelets? Dengue is a protozoan disease transmitted by the mosquito. Retroorbital pain is not a symptom of dengue. ठीक है? Skin rashes and the bleeding. Dengue is a viral disease transmitted by the mosquito. Skin rash and the bleeding from the nose and gums are some of the symptoms of the dengue. The following disease is not a bacterial disease. Bacterial pneumonia, dengue. Yellow fever is spread by the air, housefly. None of the yellow fever is found by the contagious viral disease. In most cases, symptoms include the fever, chills, that is the loss of the appetite, nausea, muscle pain, particularly in the back and the headache. The disease is caused by the fever viral disease and is spread by the bite of the female anopheles, that is Aedes aegypti. Which of the following disease is not transmitted by the tiger mosquitoes? Which of the following disease is not transmitted by the tiger mosquitoes? Japanese encephalitis is albopictus, that is also known as the tiger mosquito Rutherford is native to the tropical and subtropical areas of the Southeast Asia. It is an epidemiologically important factor for the transmission of many viral pathogens, including the yellow fever, dengue virus, chikungunya. But Japanese is by the coolest species of the mosquito only. Hydrophobia is caused by the virus. That is the fever of water is called the hydrophobia. Such type of the patient get afraid of bleeding. The disease is caused by the swelling of the membrane over spinal cord and the brain meningitis. One out of every 200 babies born in India dies of diarrhea caused by the rotavirus. Out of every 200 babies born in India dies of the diarrhea caused by the rotavirus. RNA virus. In a human, disease break out across a large region of the world. What is it is called? Pandemic ही कहता है. देखो endemic क्या होता है? Disease regularly found in particular place or among a particular group of people and difficult to get rid of. Endemic हो गया. फिर pandemic हो गया. क्या infectious disease that has spread across a large region, for instance, whose country, multiple continent or worldwide, affecting a substantial number of the people. ठीक है. एक होगा epizootic, a disease that affects a large number of animals in some particular region within a short period of time. large number of animals. ठीक है. epizootic, that is जैसे कि स्वाइन फ्लू टाइप का. फिर एक लास्ट है epidemic, a large number of cases of a particular disease happening in a given population within a short period of time. क्या होता है? मतलब कि बहुत सारा केसेस होता है एक शॉर्ट पीरियड इन ए गिवन पॉपुलेशन. Of the following which sets include all viral diseases? Of the following which sets include all viral diseases? ठीक है. mumps, rabies, or herpes. Mumps, rabies, or herpes. That is the chickenpox, rabies, influenza, HIV/AIDS, mumps, rabies, polymyelitis. And the polio enters into the body through the polluted food and the water. Poliovirus. Polio is caused by the virus. Polio vaccine, John Salk. The vaccine used for polio was prepared by John Salk. John Salk is connected to which of the following disease, that is the polio. Against which of the following disease has government of India has given to divalent ORV in place of the trivalent, that is the polio. Divalent ORV in the place of the trivalent. The pathogen responsible for the common cold is responsible for rhinovirus. The hepatitis B is caused by which microorganism? By the virus. Which of the following statement is not correct? Hepatitis B is transmission much like HIV. Hepatitis B virus is transmitted much like HIV. Hepatitis B unlike HIV does not have a vaccine. ये गलत है ठीक है हेपेटाइटिस बी वायरस is transmitted much like HIV. Globally, the number of the people infected with HIV B and the C are several times more than infected with the HIV. ठीक है some of these infected with HIV B and C viruses does not show the symptoms for many years. Yes, pneumonia is an infection of the lungs. Which of the following diseases is not due to the contamination of water? Contamination of water, hepatitis B, cholera, typhoid, or jaundice. The liver disease hepatitis is caused by the DNA virus. DNA virus होता है The liver disease hepatitis B is caused by the DNA virus. The organ of the human body directly. The liver disease hepatitis B is caused by the DNA virus. The organ of the human body directly affected by the disease of the hepatitis is the liver. Which of the following disease is caused by the virus? Hepatitis. Which of the following pairs is incorrect? Plague rats से tapeworm pig, polio monkey से नहीं. Polio होता है spread from person through infected fecal matter entering the water, entering the mouth. Smallpox is transmitted by virus. The patient should rest on a separate bed. Which of the following diseases is not caused by the bacteria? AIDS, diphtheria, chickenpox, smallpox. Which of the following diseases in India? उस टाइम के अकॉर्डिंग तो clearly be the right answer. B. Only severe smallpox. Which of the following disease is not caused by the AIDS is transmitted by sexual intercourse, by blood transfusion, by mosquitoes, sucking insects, other sucking insect across the placenta. Say 1, 2, and 4. Smallpox was declared eradicated from the world in 1980. Smallpox in 1980 from world. Misosi. HIV does not spread AIDS through mosquito bite. Immune system get affected by what? T lymphocyte get completely damaged in AIDS. एकदम सही है. Because T lymphocyte. The disease caused by the AIDS is HIV. Caused by the AIDS is virus. AIDS is short-term acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. C. Which is the following condition of a sick human body? That is sick human body symptoms of AIDS. Sweating at night तो होगा ही. Loss of weight भी होगा. Loss of memory नहीं है. और 3 नहीं है. सारा loss of memory भी होगा AIDS में. और swollen lymph nodes. lymph node जो होगा वो swollen होगा. Consider the following condition of a sick human body. That is swollen lymph node, loss of memory भी होगा, sweating at night होगा और loss of weight होगा. Loss of weight तो होगा ही, sweating at night भी होगा, swollen lymph nodes भी होगा और फिर loss of memory तो जरूर होगा. It is caused by the virus. The virus is responsible for the for the AIDS is the retrovirus. What is retrovirus? इन एड्स हाउस वाले में क्या था? डायरिया में था रोटा वायरस. डायरिया वाले में क्या था? रोटा वायरस. रोटा वायरस. इन is a RNA plus protein. हाँ. Which of the following disease can be transmitted from one person to the another through tattooing? That is, it's HIV, hepatitis B. ठीक है. Adenovirus have single-stranded DNA genomes, whereas retrovirus have double-stranded DNA genomes. Maybe. Common cold is sometimes caused by adenovirus, whereas AIDS is caused by the retrovirus. उल्टा हो गया इसका मतलब. ठीक है. Common cold is sometimes caused by the adenovirus and the AIDS is caused by the retrovirus. Adenoviruses have single-stranded DNA genomes, whereas the retrovirus have single-stranded DNA genome. उल्टा. ठीक है. Which of the following strains of the HIV dominant in the India? HIV-1C. HIV-1C is dominant in India. Japanese encephalitis is caused by the parasitic virus. Japanese encephalitis is caused by the virus. Who discovered the HTLV3 AIDS virus? Robert Gallo. Who discovered the HTLV3 AIDS virus? Gallo ने किया था. Japanese encephalitis is caused by the virus. Keeping pigs away from the human settlement helped in the eradication of the Japanese encephalitis. Domestic pigs and the wild birds are reservoirs of the virus called the Japanese encephalitis. Transmission to humans may cause severe symptoms. Among the most important are the curious mosquito keeping pigs away. Most frequent used medicine for the AIDS is the azithromycin, that is the rejuvenating. Of the following, ELISA test is performed to test AIDS. Which of the following diseases antibiotics cannot cure? Antibiotics cannot cure measles. Measles cannot be cured by the measles is a highly contagious respiratory infection which is caused by the virus. It cannot be cured by antibiotic. Whereas leprosy, tetanus and cholera are bacterial diseases and can be cured by antibiotics. टेटनस कॉलरा तो ठीक एंटीबायोटिक से होगा, ये याद रखना. लेप्रोसी मीजल्स जो है which part of the human body infected by the virus causing encephalitis? Brain. Which part of the human body is infected by the virus causing Japanese encephalitis? That is the brain. Measles disease is transmitted by virus. तो फॉलोइंग डिजीज एंटीबायोटिक कैनॉट क्योर, दैट इज द measles, क्योंकि वो वायरस होता है. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट एन इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज? एड्स है, चिकन पॉक्स भी है, मम्स भी है, herpes simplex भी है. रानी के डिजीज इज रिलेटेड टू द काउ. चिकन, सॉरी, it is caused by the virus. रानी के डिजीज is caused by the रानी के डिजीज is related to the Ranical disease is related to the chicken. Which of the following diseases of milking animals are infectious? Sara, anthrax, black water, cowpox. Foot and the mouth disease in animals, a current epidemic in some part of the world, is caused by the virus. Foot and mouth disease mainly found in the cattle and pig, sheep, maybe goat, maybe. That's one animal virus is sometimes mentioned in the news. It is the swine flu. H5N1. That is the bird flu. H5N1 bird flu. H5N1. H1N1 क्या है? स्वाइन फ्लू है. And H5N1 बर्ड फ्लू है. Which of the following is a bird flu? That is H5N1. The year 2011 remarkably by the blog named Rinderpest. By the livestock disease. Oh my god. In tropical region, Zika virus is transmitted by the same mosquito that transmit dengue. Sexual transmission of the Zika virus is possible. Sexual transmission. जो following pairs are not correctly matched. Ebola virus, smallpox, नहीं. Biometric identical fingerprint and iris scan. Cloning, genetic replica of regulatory deadly virus. The name of Ebola is based on the river. Which of the following state was in the news for the outbreak of Nipah virus in May-June 2018? Kerala, Kozhikode district. Food poisoning is due to the Salmonella bacilli. Which one of the following bacterial disease that is called as spinning fever? Anthrax is known as the spinning fever. Which of the following is called the spinning fever? Anthrax is known as the spinning fever. Spinning fever is another name for the antibacterial infection that causes the spleen to enlarge. Spinning fever anthrax is highly contagious disease that affects livestock and can also be transmitted to humans. The disease is caused by the sudden onset of fever, lethargy, respiratory or cardiac distress, seizures, and eventual death. Food poisoning is due to the Salmonella bacilli. What type of vaccine protects against the diphtheria? What type of vaccine protects against the bacteria toxoid? What type of vaccine protects against diphtheria toxoid? DPT vaccine is given to protect from the diphtheria, whooping cough, and tetanus. Botulism is a port-borne intoxication. Botulism. DPT vaccine is used for diphtheria, pertussis, or tetanus. Food poisoning botulism is caused by the infection of a species. It is Clostridium proliferans. There were serious conditions caused by the toxin from the bacteria Clostridium botulism and sometimes from the C. bacterium and C. bacteria. This toxin attacks the body nerves and causes difficulty in breathing. The toxic attack the body nerves and causes difficulty in breathing, muscle paralysis, and even death. Take a food-borne body in the harmful they thrive and produce the toxin in an environment with little oxygen, such as the azine. Wound botulism in this get into a cut. This can damage can cause a dangerous infection that produce the toxin. Infant production, this person begins after Clostridium bacterial pores grow. Oh my god, what I am doing, man? Grow in a baby intestinal tract. The triple antigen DPT is known to prevent the children from diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. For which one of the following DPT vaccine is not used? That is polio. The triple antigen is antigen is given to a child to prevent from the triple antigen diphtheria, whooping and tetanus. These vaccines, which of these is not a viral disease? Rabies, tuberculosis, not a viral disease. The Bacillus Haemophilus influenza causes a form of meningitis in young children or last pneumonia. A Bacillus Haemophilus influenza causes a form of meningitis in young children and pneumonia. According to the World Health Organization, the disease is the tuberculosis. What is the importance of the using pneumococcal? Which of the following antimicrobial drug is suitable for treatment of both tuberculosis and leprosy? That is the P-amino salicylic acid. P-amino leprosy and tuberculosis. P-amino salicylic acid. What is the importance of using pneumococcal conjugate vaccine? These vaccines are effective against pneumonia as well as the meningitis and sepsis. Dependence on the antibiotics that are not effective against drug-resistant bacteria can be reduced. Dependence on the antibiotics that are not effective against drug-resistant bacteria can be reduced, and this vaccine helps to no side effect and cause no allergy. ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता. Dependence on antibiotics that are not effective against drug-resistant bacteria can be reduced. BCG vaccine is used for the prevention of the tuberculosis. Die is the disease of a disease identified. Die of a disease. Tuberculosis. Which one of the following is not correctly matched? Autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, genetic tuberculosis. B. इसके भी स्माइट. Mental disease, schizophrenia, इसके भी स्माइट. और autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis. Which is immune is given by TB person. ठीक है. The BCG vaccine may be procurated to a newborn within just after the birth. Which one of the following disease is caused by the bacteria? Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by the bacteria. From the following pairs, find the one which is correctly matched. Scurvy, thiamine. ठीक है. गलत है. Tuberculosis, ETS. Malaria, chloroquine है सही. BCG vaccine is given to tuberculosis, chloroquine, malaria, scurvy disease caused by immunity, and whereas thiamine is known as the vitamin B1, and ETS, that is test antitoxin, is used for the prophylaxis and the treatment of the tetanus. A specific test for detection of the tuberculosis is the Montauk's test. This test is also known as the lockjaw. Which one of the following is not caused by infected mosquito bite? Plague. Plague क्या करता है? Filaria क्या करता है? Beriberi due to the deficiency of filaria caused by the mosquito. Typhoid affect the intestine, and filaria plague spread through free mosquitoes. Which one of the following is not caused by the infected mosquito? Tooth decay is mostly caused by interaction in the mouth between bacteria and the food particles of the carbohydrate. The reason of the dental caries is bacterial infection. The reason of the dental caries is bacterial infection. People drinking water from a shallow hand pump are likely to suffer from fluorosis. In the following question, select the tuberculosis lungs. तो टाइफाइड होगा कहाँ? इंटेस्टाइन में. By air, by water, by contact, by wound. By contact से प्लेस C का 4 B नंबर होगा. By contact से प्लेस by wound tetanus, हाँ, by water cholera or by air TB. By air TB. The term antibiotic was coined by D, that is the Selman-Waxman. Antibiotic was Selman-Waxman. Yes, you are right. Which of the following is a waterborne disease? Cholera is a waterborne. Which of the following is an antibiotic drug? बहुत सारा है. Chloromephanicol is generally which is used in the treatment of bacterial infection, and sulfaguanidine is also a sulfonamide antibiotic used against the antibacterial agent. Typhoid and cholera are typical waterborne diseases. Leprosy is caused by the bacteria. All of the following diseases are caused by virus except typhoid. Typhoid caused by the bacteria. The antibiotic among the following is the sulfadiazine है, sulfadiazine है, and penicillin भी है. ठीक है. An example of antibiotic medicine is called D, that is the penicillin. रिचा आपको BF है क्या? नहीं है तो मैं ट्राई कर सकता हूँ. Never. You remember me, Richa ji? Yes. You were in my last session. The antibiotic among the following is क्या है? ये होगा. Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Which of the following is a broad spectrum drug? Broad spectrum drug is the chloramphenicol. Chloramphenicol is a broad spectrum drug. Which of the following is a sulfur drug? That is the cybazole. Cybazole is a sulfur drug. Which of the following is a broad spectrum drug? Chloramphenicol. Which of the following are the reason for the occurrence of the multi-drug resistant in microbial pathogen in India? Taking incorrect dose of the antibiotics to cure disease and using antibiotics in the livestock farming. Sulfur drugs are effective against disease caused by the bacteria. Sulfur drugs. Sulfur drug is which of the following type of drug? It is a antibacterial drug. The following is not a zoonotic. Zoonotic नहीं है. That is mucormycosis है. Zoonotic नहीं. रेबीज हो जाएगा, सार्स हो जाएगा और प्लेग हो जाएगा. ठीक है. रेबीज, सार्स और प्लेग. Which of the following is not a zoonotic disease? Rabies, SARS or plague is a zoonotic disease. Rare fungal disease है. ठीक है. Ergotism is due to the consumption of contaminated grains. Athlete food is caused by the fungus. Which of the following human प्लीज़ डोंट स्पैम मैन. ऐसा कुछ भी मैसेज मत करो जिससे मुझे गुस्सा आने लगता है. डेट टू रैंडमली ऐसे क्यों करते हो यार तुम लोग? Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of aflatoxin food allergen? That is the liver. Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of alpha-toxin? Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of alpha-toxin food allergen? Liver. Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of alpha-toxin food adulterant? Which of the following human organ is Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of aflatoxin food related liver? Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of aflatoxin food adulterant, that is liver? Which of the following human organ is affected by the consumption of aflatoxin food adulterant, that is liver? Asparagus and penicillium produce aflatoxin that makes food toxic. Which of the following disease is caused by the fungi? That is the baldness. Which disease is caused by fungi? That is the dermatitis. Which of the following are correct? Femur is the longest bone in the human body. Cholera is a disease caused by the bacteria, and acidic flu is caused by lSSC 1 and 2. The parasitic diseases. And the organ affected by malaria is spleen. Carrier of the parasite Plasmodium is mosquito. Which of the following is a carrier of parasite Plasmodium mosquito? Besides spreading malaria, Anopheles mosquitoes are also vector of the dengue and the filariasis and the encephalitis. Malignant malaria is falciparum. Species of the Plasmodium which cause malignant is the falciparum. Which one of the following is not common between malaria and dengue? That is the fever mosquito species. Which of the following parasite is responsible for 65% of the causes of the, that is the vivax. Vivax से ज़्यादा होता है in India. 65% of the cases किससे होता है? Vivax होता है. छा गई पिस्तौल कुछ कर दोगे. Let's see क्या होता है. Which of the following parasite is responsible for 65% of the causes of the malaria in India? That is the vivax. Which one of the following is not common between the malaria and the dengue? Who was the scientist who discovered that malaria is caused by the Plasmodium parasite? He was Ross. Which of the following disease is caused by protozoa? Malaria is caused by the protozoan. Which disease among the following is spread by protozoan? Malaria, which is not spread, which is not true regarding the malaria. It is not caused by the disease parasite. What is R21 matrix M? Vaccine against malaria developed by Serum Institute. R21 matrix M. Malaria vaccine discovered by the Serum Institute of India. The disease caused by the nematodes are the filaria. उसके बाद फिर है प्लेग. प्लेग क्या हो जाएगा? एड्स हो जाएगा वायरस. बाल्डनेस हो जाएगा फंगा. बैक्टीरिया हो जाए. मलेरिया हो जाएगा. प्लेग हो गया बैक्टीरिया. प्लेग बैक्टीरिया. हाँ. मलेरिया हो जाएगा प्रोटोजोन. ठीक है. पेप्टिक अल्सर. डेंगू हो जाएगा वायरस. यू कैन पुट वॉर्म. मलेरिया हो जाएगा प्रोटोजोन. और पेप्टिक अल्सर क्या हो जाएगा? बैक्टीरिया. पेप्टिक अल्सर बैक्टीरिया. पेप्टिक अल्सर बैक्टीरिया. पेप्टिक अल्सर क्या हो जाएगा? बैक्टीरिया हो जाएगा. क्या हो जाएगा? पेप्टिक अल्सर बैक्टीरिया हो जाएगा. दैट इज मलेरिया हो जाएगा वायरस. मलेरिया हो जाएगा प्रोटोजोन. पोलियोमाइलाइटिस वायरस हो जाएगा. ट्यूबरकुलोसिस बैक्टीरिया. रिंगो फंगाई. Select the incorrect set of the typical vector disease cause type of pathogen. Select the incorrect set of the typical vector disease cause. Select the incorrect type of the typical disease cause type of pathogen. ठीक है. एडिस चिकनगुनिया पाला गलत है. ट्यूलियस जो होता है वो लिम्फेटिक लिम्फेटिक फाइलेरियोसिस है जो पैरासाइट से होता है। एनोफिस मलेरिया है, पैरासाइट से होता है। डेंगू वायरस है, डेंगू वायरस मलेरिया पैरासाइट है। Sleeping sickness happens due to the unicellular animal named Trypanosoma tenacious is an intestinal infection caused by the three species of the tapeworm, that is the Taenia solium, Taenia senaginata, and the Taenia asiatica. We insist. I will update you all what I am doing right now. बीपीएससी के लिए बेस्ट तो एडिटेरिया वाला है, उसके अलावा बहुत सारा ऐसे है जो यू कैन गो, जैसे BCW, किसी से नहीं। आई मीन टू से कि सबसे पहले हम जितना भी था ना वो पहले मतलब NCERT पर सब लिए थे, एंड ऐसे ही रैंडम जैसे कि स्टडी IQ अमित खिल्लोर सर से पलटी किए थे थोड़ा थोड़ा, मतलब पूरा नहीं, एज अ होल नहीं। फिर इकॉनमी ऐसे ही कोई यूट्यूब चैनल था उनसे किए थे, मतलब कोई एक पर्टिकुलर कोई ऐसा कोई चैनल या कोई ऐसा मतलब इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं जिससे हम सारा सब्जेक्ट किए हैं। सो आई कांट, जैसे ज्योग्राफी तुम कर लो सुदर्शन नाम है गुज्जर सर नाम है। गुज्जर सर है, सुदर्शन गुज्जर सर नाम है उनका, बेस्ट फॉर द ज्योग्राफी। और बायो सबके लिए तो बहुत सारे मिल जाएंगे आपको, बायो एंड ऑल सब्जेक्ट्स। हाँ, तो उनसे सुदर्शन गुज्जर सर से ज्योग्राफी कर लो। बाय अभी। मृणाल सर बेस्ट रहेंगे, बट अगर बीपीएससी के लिए कर रहे हो तो अगर उनसे नहीं भी करोगे तो कोई बात नहीं, क्योंकि वो बहुत ही डेप्थ में बताते हैं। डैट इज़ इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर द यूपीएससी, नॉट फॉर द बीपीएससी। फिर उसके उनमें जाके तुमको सेलेक्टिव ही पढ़ना पड़ेगा, टैटू बस ऊपर ऊपर, ऑल द टर्म्स एंड एवरीथिंग। Sickness happens due to the unicellular animal named trypanosoma tenacious. It is an intestinal infection caused by the three species of tapeworm: Taenia solium, Taenia saginata, and Taenia asiatica. When cells develop in the brain, the condition is referred to as the neurocysticercosis. Which of the following is not a mosquito-borne disease? Dengue or sleeping sickness. Due to the unsafe and usable of the water and the lack of sanitation, seen in communicable disease in developing countries. That is the malaria, acute diarrhea, or the schistosomiasis. Linder Peace was forced off the court of tennis after the problem was detected in the removal of the problem of cyst. Which of the following is not a genetic disease? Genetic disease 9. Alplandis. Phenylketonuria is an example of an inborn error of metabolism. This error refers to the inherited lack of an enzyme. Phenylketonuria is an example of the यदि बीपीएससी के लिए कौन सा सही रहेगा बैच, प्लीज़ बता दीजिए। ऐसा कोई बैच हम नहीं लिए हैं, तो आई कांट सजेस्ट यू कोई पर्टिकुलर बैच। BCW एंड बहुत सारे ऐसे हैं जो कि मतलब कोई बीपीएससी के लिए पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो उन लोगों के लिए जाओ। Phenylketonuria is an example of inborn error of metabolism. This error refers to the phenylketonuria is an example of inborn error of metabolism. Phenylketonuria is an example of inborn. See, one is BCW, one is एंटीटेरिया, ठीक है। फिर अभी एक केवल PCS करके है, बट आई डोंट थिंक सो वो 2-3 सर ही मिलके करते हैं, तो आई डोंट नो मच अबाउट दैम। लेकिन ये दोनों बहुत बेस्ट है फॉर बीपीएससी, या तुम केजीएस के लिए भी यू कैन गो फॉर द केजीएस। दूसरे का कमेंट आता है, आप लोग साइडलाइन कर देते हो। कहाँ की है साइडलाइन यार, सही सारे थे। अच्छा, अरे इकोनॉमिक्स के लिए उनसे अच्छा कोई नहीं है। एक बार एनसीईआरटी किसी से पढ़ लो तुम, ठीक है। मतलब कि कोई भी मतलब ऐसे यूट्यूब पे सर्च कर लो कि पूरा मतलब जैसे कंप्लीट एनसीईआरटी बेस्ड इकोनॉमिक्स, अगर ऐसा कुछ आ गया तो पहले वो पढ़ लो, उसके बाद मृणाल सर का लेना, क्योंकि वो बहुत डेप्थ में पढ़ाते हैं। यू वॉन्ट बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, ठीक है। Phenylketonuria is an example of an inborn error of the metabolism. This error refers to the inherited lack of an enzyme. Phenylketonuria is an example of inborn. और वैसे भी इकोनॉमिक्स से उतना क्वेश्चन नहीं आता, जैसे कि मोस्टली सेंसस से आता है, फिर इकोनॉमिक सर्वे, बजट एंड ऑल द इकोनॉमिक्स रिलेटेड करंट अफेयर्स, बस मोस्टली तो यही सब है। स्टैटिक पार्ट से क्वेश्चन नहीं आता। Phenylketonuria is an example of an inborn error of metabolism. This error refers to the inherited lack of an enzyme. Person affected by the liver disease suffers from mental advocacy. Hemophilia is a hereditary disease which affects black cells of the blood clotting. The family blue babies disease, bubble baby disease is so called because the suffering baby is treated as a germ-free plastic bubble. The suffering baby is treated in a germ-free plastic bubble. The heritable disease is the hemophilia. The following is not a genetic disease. IBS, that is the irritable bowel syndrome. Hemophilia is a genetic disease carried by women appear in the woman. In human, trisomy of the 21 is responsible for the Down syndrome. 21. Hemophilia is caused by the hereditary defect. Following is sex-linked. That is royal hemophilia. In human, disorder caused due to the trisomy of the 21 syndrome is Down syndrome. Trisomy 21 is known as the Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder which is caused due to the change in the number of the chromosome. Which one of the following is caused by the expression of a recessive gene present on the cells of the muscular dystrophy? Which one of the following is caused by the expression of a recessive gene present on the muscular dystrophy? Is linked with the S chromosome, which is derived by the expression of the ineffective gene present in the X chromosome. This moves from generation to generation. Which one of the following sets is correctly matched? Which one of the following set is correctly matched? Bacterial pneumonia, color blindness, hemophilia, pneumonia, that is the hereditary. In respect of women, men can suffer more of the color blindness because they have only one X chromosome. Which one of the following is caused by the expression of the recessive gene present in on? Which one of the following is caused? Which one of the following is caused by the expression of a recessive gene present on sex chromosome? The following is caused by the expression of the recessive gene present on the X chromosome. That the muscular dystrophy is a hereditary disease linked with the X chromosome, which is derived from by the execution of the ineffective gene present on the X chromosome. What have I done now? This moves from generation to generation. Hemophilia is a genetic disease. Diabetes is a hormonal disorder. Rickets is a deficiency and hormonal disease. Which of the following is incorrectly matched? Thiamine, diphtheria, विटामिन ए कलर ब्रांडनेस नहीं होता, विटामिन डी ब्लड क्लॉटिंग इस कॉम्प्लिकेशन इसका भी if a color blindness marries with normal woman, then the symptoms of the color blindness is generated in son of the daughters, sons of the daughters, sons of daughters, sons of daughters. If a color blind man marries with normal woman, then the symptoms of the color blindness is generated in the sons of daughters. A A colorblind person get married to a normal woman whose percentage were not blind, whose parents were not colorblind. The possibility of being childborn in the is 0%. Okay. Thalassemia is a hereditary disease which affect thalassemia blood को कहता है. In the presence of thalassemia, the body is unable to synthesize hemoglobin. A woman suffered from color blindness while her husband do not suffer from it. They have a son and a daughter. So the following that is son from the daughter does not suffer from it. Which of the following is responsible for muscle fatigue? That is the lactic acid. Arthritis is caused by deposition of which of the following in the joints of the, that is the uric acid. High level of the uric acid in the blood characteristic of which is arthritis. Gout. Gout is a disease caused by the high level of the uric acid in the blood, hyperuricemia. It is caused an attack of sudden burning pain. It is caused an attack of sudden burning. Do you study everything on your iPad? नॉट एवरीथिंग. जैसे कि जितने भी मेरे PDF है ना वो इसी पे है, तो आई हैव टू डू विद द PDF, इसी पे करना पड़ता है. एंड जैसे बुक भी है मेरे पास, ल्यूसेंट का है, KBC नैनो BR स्पेशल के लिए है, नोट्स है मेरे पास, और मतलब मेरे पास बुक भी है. मतलब 2025 वाले हैं, अब जो 2026 वाले आ गए तो आई सजेस्ट कि यही करूँ. सो इसी पे करना पड़ता है. 5-6 बुक है और रेस्ट इज हियर ओनली. High level of the uric acid in the blood is characteristic of which of the level? Gout. The people who eat cooked food with altered mustard oil can cause disease, dropsy. Which one of the following may not be correct? Argemone oil adulteration, parts of the cyanide in the mustard oil, and white color adulteration. Anthophobia is a fear of flowers. Which of the following? Anthophobia. Which of the following is a common adulterant of the mustard oil? That is the poppy seeds. The disease hysteria generally occur in which group? That is the young woman. Young and unmarried woman. Silicosis is a lung disease caused due to the tanning of silica. It begins as a single cell and grows. That is the cancer. The malfunctioning of the thyroid gland is due to the deficiency of iodine. The transformation of the normal cell into cancerous neoplastic cells may be induced by the physical, chemical, or the biological agent are called the carcinogenic. Anemia, that is the iron deficiency. Goiter, that is iodine. Nitrogen, vitamin A, or beriberi, vitamin B. In countries where polish rice is meat cereal, they suffer from the beriberi. ठीक है. Deficiency of iron causes goiter. The blue baby syndrome is caused due to the fluoride. Due to the excessive presence of which of the following in drinking water? That is blue baby syndrome. नाइट्रेट की वजह से होता है. मरकरी तब किससे की वजह से होता है. Shortage of which element causes goiter disease? Iodine. Iodine is administered to patients suffering from goiter. Use of polished rice in human causes the following beriberi. Excess of which of the following in blood causes the blue baby incident? Methemoglobin. Most blue baby syndrome is present in the blood. Methemoglobin. Use of polished causes the polarizing that causes disease. What is the correct sequence of the following in a heart attack? Narrowing of the inner auricle of the vessels, plaque from fibrosis type tissue and high cholesterol. देखो, plaque from fibrosis tissue, inadequate supply of blood and oxygen, clot of blood carried into the coronary arteries. 2413. सबसे पहले plaque from fibrosis tissue and high cholesterol वाला. फिर 2 क्या हो गया? Clot of blood carried into the coronary arteries. और उसके बाद फिर क्या? Narrowing of the inner orifice of the vessels. And last का है that is the inadequate supply of the oxygen. During the heart attack, an internal way of the blood vessels get narrowed due to a collection of the cholesterol and gases during the narrow heart attack. An internal way of blood vessel get narrowed due to a collection of cholesterol and gases upon the fibrous tissue, and the enriching of the blood clots make the passage more narrow, so the blood gets less supply of the oxygen blood. If albumin is releasing with urine, then the failure of which organ may occur, that is the kidney. In medical terminology, golden are related with the heart attack. Golden hour is a critical 1 hour from the upset of the most of the occur during this way, if not irretrievable. Beta blocker is a medicine to save from the heart attack. Which organ of the body is affected most on keeping fast for a long time? Kidney. Beta blocker. Which of the following is essential to regulate the heartbeat? That is potassium. That is, it helps trigger the heart to squeeze blood throughout the body. It also helps your muscles to move, nerves to work, and kidneys to filter blood. Phosphorus is good for the development of bone, whereas iron deficiency leads to anemia. Which of the following is related to the deficiency of potassium? That is potassium, low pressure. In the modern day, nuclear medicine play a vital role in medicine. They are exactly radioisotopes. Nuclear medicine, the nuclear metal is arsenic 74, cobalt 60, iodine 131, activity of thyroid gland, or cobalt 60, cancer, cobalt 60 tumor, cancer, sodium 24 cancer, ब्लड डिसऑर्डर में क्या यूज होता है देखते हैं. आर्सेनिक 74 यूज होता है. आई यूज टू रीड बुक्स ऑन माई लैपटॉप. आई गॉट हेडेक आफ्टर लाइक 40 minutes. लोल. थोड़ा इनलार्ज में पढ़ो, नहीं होगा इतना ज़्यादा. बहुत सारा हाथ है. करने लगी. ओह माय गॉड. हम क्या सोचे हैं, मम्मी जानती है ये जगह, ये देखो ना अगर यहाँ पे खाली कर देना, वहाँ पे रख 5 बजे से स्टार्ट कर देंगे करना। दैट इज द अर्सेनिक। अर्सेनिक क्या होगा? अर्सेनिक ट्यूमर में, कोबाल्ट 60 कैंसर में, आयोडीन 130 एक्टिविटी ऑफ द थायराइड ग्लैंड एंड सोडियम ब्लड डिसऑर्डर में। ठीक है, कोबाल्ट 60 ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द बॉडी इंटरनल न्यूप्लाज्म, ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ थायराइड न्यूप्लाज्म, फॉस्फोरस ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द ल्यूकेमिया, ये भी कर लो, ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द ल्यूकेमिया, और कोल्ड 190 ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द रेटिनल डिसऑर्डर in the treatment of the cancer. Gold 198 is used in the treatment of the cancer. ठीक है, phosphorus 32 treatment of the leukemia, phosphorus 32 treatment of the leukemia, और iodine 131 treatment of the thyroid neoplasm, और cobalt 6 that is treatment of the body's internal neoplasm. Which one of the following radio element is used to measure the speed of the blood flow in the human body? Radiosodium. Treatment of the leukemia is a type of cancer in which there is a abnormal increase in the number of the white blood cells. The isotopes used to detect tumor is the tumor arsenic 74. Tumor arsenic 74. Cobalt 60 is generally used in radiation treatment because it ejects a gamma rays. Because it ejects. अच्छा डीएसपी बनकर ही मानेगी आपके मुंह में से घी शक्कर cobalt 60 is generally used in the radiation treatment because it ejects gamma rays. Cobalt 60 is generally used in the radiation treatment because it ejects gamma rays. Cobalt 60 is generally used in the radiation treatment because it ejects gamma rays. Which one of the following is used in the treatment of the blood cancer? Blood cancer. Which one of the following is used in the treatment of blood cancer? Cobalt 60 होता है. Blood cancer C and D. Cobalt 60 or phosphorus 32. Phosphorus 32 is also used in the treatment of the leukemia. The radiation used in the treatment of the cancer एक R. The radiation used in the treatment of the cancer एक R. उसमें क्या बोले थे? गामा रेज बोले थे ना, जैसे इंफ्रारेड मसल लिखा है ना. Infrared is one of the innovative therapies that are being trialed for the management of the patients with acute or the chronic pain. Infrared radiation helps to cell generate or repair themselves. It has been joint pain, muscle spasm or stiffness. Oncogenes are associated with cancer. Which situation of the body is known as the cancer? जबकि uncontrolled multiplication of the cell होगा by which death of the sound cells and finally death. What gives you motivation? मैं दिन भर में बस 3 घंटे ही पढ़ पाता हूँ. बहुत कुछ है जो मोटिवेशन देता है. फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन मोटिवेशन देता है सबसे ज़्यादा. द मेजर फैक्टर. सेकेंड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बिकॉज आई एम बेरोजगार हियर. एंड थर्ड इज द फैमिली. नो वन एल्स, द ओनली द फैमिली. Which situation of the body is known as ये हो गया. Metastasis is the process by which cancer cells spread through the blood or lymphatic systems to the side of the organ. Metastasis क्या है? एक ऐसा process है in which cancer cells spread through the blood by or lymphatic system to other sides of the organ. Which the following radiation used to get relief from blood body ache, that is the infrared radiation. Which one of the following human organs is less susceptible to the harmful radiation? Brain. Brain here. Eyes सबसे ज़्यादा. ठीक है. Which of the following can cause cancer as well as cure it depending upon its intensity and use? Ionized radiation. Which of the following can cause cancer as well as cure it depending on the intensity? Ionized radiation. ठीक है. ये हो गया. ये कर लो एक बार. Local invasion क्या होता है? Cancer cell invade nearby normal tissue. Local invade nearby. Intravasation, that is the cancer cell invade and move through the walls of the nearby cells or the blood vessel circulation. Cancer cell move through the lymphatic system, the blood to the other part of the body. Arrest and extravasation, that is cancer cell arrest or stop moving in blood. Small blood vessels called the capillary at a distant location then invade the walls of capillary and migrate into the surrounding tissue. Extravasation. Proliferation, that is the multiply at the distant location to form small tumors like the micrometastasis. Good afternoon. Angiogenesis, the Micrometastasis stimulate the growth of the new blood vessels to obtain a blood supply. A blood supply is needed to obtain the oxygen and nutrient necessary for the continued tumor. Good afternoon. Hello, Brahman. चरण स्पर्श दीदी, आपके भी चरण स्पर्श. Angiogenesis. Micrometastasis stimulate the growth of new blood vessels to obtain a blood supply. A blood supply is needed to obtain the oxygen and nutrient necessary for the continued tumor neoplasm growth. Because cancer of the lymphatic system or the blood stream are already present in lymph vessels, lymph node or the blood vessels not about angiogenesis. क्या है? angiogenesis है, angiogenesis है, ठीक है. Micrometastasis stimulate the growth of new blood vessels. Micrometastasis stimulate the growth of the new blood vessels to obtain a blood supply. A blood supply is needed to obtain the oxygen nutrient necessary for the continued tumor neoplasm growth. Because cancer of the lymphatic system or the blood system are already present in the lymph vessel, lymph node or the blood vessel, not all of these steps are needed for the गुड आफ्टरनून. आई एम गुड. आप बताओ कैसे हो? ये क्या बोल रहा है यार? Micrometastasis stimulate the growth of new blood vessels to obtain a blood supply. A blood supply is needed to obtain the oxygen and nutrient necessary for the continued tumor neoplasm. Which among the following is the most recent therapy of all type of the cancer? That is IMRT. IMRT, the intensity modulated radiotherapy, that is one of the most important recent. It is precise confirmation relation dose to the target volume. It is used to treat nearly every type of the solid tumor. ठीक है, क्या है वो? intensity modulated radiotherapy है. Which organ of the human body is affected by the Alzheimer's disease? Brain. Interferon is used for the control of cancer. Virus में होता है cancer. Virus में protein. Interferons are a group of the signaling protein made and released by host cells in response to the presence of pathogens such as the viruses, bacteria, parasites, and tuberculosis such as interferon alpha 2 is to cure the blood cancer and the disease of the kidney. Interferons are the group of signaling protein made and released by the host cell in response to the presence of the pathogens such as the bacteria, virus, and parasite tumor cells such as in cancer. Interferons alpha 2 is applied to cure the disease, that is blood cancer and disease of the kidney. Recently, scientists discovered protein which is responsible for hazardous neural disease, Alzheimer's. Which is of the following is that protein? That is amyloid precursor protein. Nobel Prize for development treatment of the Parkinson disease was given to Carlson. Supercutation. Supercutation. What does that mean? Yes, MCQs है. MCQ है. MCQ करते हो क्या? मेथड. तो यार कितना और हो गया? थॉरली करते हैं एंड जिसका आंसर याद नहीं होता है उसको टिक करते हैं, उसको फिर से रिवाइज करते हैं. Nobel Prize for the development treatment of the Parkinson disease was given to Arvind Carlson. Nobel Prize for the developing treatment of the Parkinson disease was given to Arvind Carlson. Arvind Carlson. Arvind. Which metal compound is used for the treatment of carcinoma? Platinum. Platinum is considered from the epithelial cells, that is the lining of the skin or the internal organ, in the treatment of the carcinoma and many other solid tumors. Platinum based compound mainly cisplatin, carboplatin, and oxaliplatin are cerebral Cerebral palsy is a brain disorder found generally in the small children. Cerebral palsy is small children. Cerebral palsy is a brain disorder found generally in the small children. Cerebral palsy is a brain disorder found generally in the small children. Scratching eases because it removes the outer dust and it kills germs. It stimulates certain nerves which direct to the brain to increase the production of antihistaminic chemicals. Sleep apnea is a serious sleep disorder in which people briefly and repeatedly stop breathing while during sleep. Sleeping apnea. Briefly and repeatedly stop breathing while sleeping. ठीक है, जिसमें कि briefly and repeatedly stop breathing करता है during sleep. Anosmia is the loss of the smell. ठीक है, which of the following is correctly matched? एनोरेक्सिया जो है वो क्या है? एनोरेक्सिया ईटिंग डिसऑर्डर, इंसोमिया स्लीपिंग डिसऑर्डर, डिप्नोसिया एनोसिमिया that is the partial or full loss of the or dyspnea shortness of breath. A man who do not have know when to eat stop eating in suffering from the bulimia और फिर एनोरेक्सिया क्या है? ईटिंग डिसऑर्डर है जिसमें कि बहुत कम खाया जाता है. ठीक है, खैरा एनीमिया. एनीमिया क्या हो गया? आयरन डिफिशिएंसी. गॉइटर हो गया आयरन. खैरा हो गया जिंक डिफिशिएंसी और विटामिन सी हो गया डिफिशिएंसी स्कर्विंग. Which pollution is responsible for knock-knee syndrome? That is, fluoride is responsible for knock-knee syndrome. Knock-knee syndrome due to the pollution which is fluoride. बहुत सारा है यार. Knock-knee syndrome. Knock-knee result due to the pollution of the fluorides. Which of the following is not correctly matched? Mercury Minamata disease, cadmium that is etitis disease, fluoride indigestion. Fluoride की वजह से क्या होता है? knock-knee syndrome होता है. और mercury Minamata sodium etitis और nitrate that is blue baby syndrome. Minamata disease was caused by the toxic quantity of the mercury. The cause of the Minamata disease is mercury polluted water. Minamata disease is caused due to the mercury poisoning. The Minamata disease in Japan in 1950 is caused by eating fish contaminated by mercury. Etitis disease cadmium by the chronic poisoning of the cadmium. Which pollution causes etitis in human beings? That is the cadmium. Which disease is caused by allergy, asthma? If a person only takes milk, egg and bread in diet, so he may suffer from the disease that is scurvy. Which of the following polyhedral product has not been developed by the DRDO and the development? That is Nogderna. Who among the following is useful? Which one of the following is useful for the treatment of scurvy disease? Gooseberry. Scurvy vitamin C. Scurvy vitamin C. The DRDO is being used in the treatment of leukoderma. The DRDO organization developed a drug named leukosin. It is being used in the treatment of leukoderma. H list 1 and list 2 correct. Marasmus, prolonged TB, bacterial infection, hepatitis B, viral infection, kwashiorkor क्या हो जाएगा? kwashiorkor is a deficiency called a continuous deficiency of protein or marasmus, prolonged starvation. Prolonged starvation causes marasmus. Kwashiorkor's continued deficiency of the protein in diet. Kwashiorkor, a form of malnutrition, is caused by the deficiency of which of the following? Protein. kwashiorkor, protein deficiency or marasmus, prolonged starvation. Astigmatism is a disease of the eyes. Myopia is a disorder of the eye. Disease caused by deficiency of the protein in the disease caused by deficiency of the protein in children is marasmus. Which of the following pair match one another? Cataract, thyroid glut, jaundice liver, cataract eye, jaundice liver, typhoid intestine, or pneumonia lungs. Typhoid intestine. Which of the following pairs correctly match pneumonia lungs? Cataract eye, jaundice liver, and diabetes metabolism. Myopia or the short tunnel is corrected by the concave lens. Myopia can see near object clearly. Topic NASA. Which part of the human is affected by cataract? That is the person is suffering from face difficulties in to see close object nearly. Which part of the eye, blind spot and yellow spot are found? D. Retina. In which part of the eye, blind spot and the yellow spot are found? Retina. The retina is the outgrowth of the diencephalon. Retina is the outgrowth of the diencephalon. The retina is the outgrowth of the diencephalon. In which part of the eye, blind spot and the yellow spot are found? That is the retina. Retina is the outgrowth of the diencephalon. If the lens is of the eye becomes opaque, this is called the cataract. Cataract. In older person, the eye lens become opaque, reducing visibility. This is called cataract. Can be nuclear or the cortical. Cataract by removing the opaque lens and wearing a spectacle, replacing with artificial intraocular lens and laser treatment of the opacity. Cataract. The natural lens become cloudy because of the change in which of the following? Protein. Atropine, ether, nitroglycerin or pyrethrin. Nitroglycerin, ether. Atropine, dilation of the pupil. A का 3, B का 1. लोकल एनेस्थीसिया, ईथर. ठीक है. नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन, डायलेशन, मस्किटो कंट्रोल. सी का 2. हार्ट ट्रबल में नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन और पैरेथ्रीन, दैट इज मस्किटो कंट्रोल. एट्रोपिन, डायलेशन ऑफ द pupil. Ether, local anesthesia. Nitroglycerin, that is the heart trouble, and pyrethrin, that is the mosquito control. The pupils of the human eyes are dilated with a very dilute solution of an alkaloid, which is atropine. The Ishihara test is related with the color blindness. Ishihara test is related with the color blindness. The Ishihara test is well known color blindness test all around the world. Is a color test vision for the biological resurfacing is a recent surgical technique used to treat biological resurfacing is a hips resurfacing is a hip joint. Bioresurfacing of the knee is a method sometimes called used in selected cases in people with damaged cartilage. And then reinserted into the present day joint. Vascular resurfacing in knee joint, hip joint, vertebral joint, or the ankle joint. Deficiency of the iron causes anemia. Disease caused due to the anemia. Which of the following disease is caused by the excessive use of the alcoholic tuberculosis? Oral submucous fibrosis is disease caused by the gutka or tobacco. Jaundice affects the liver, which is liver fluid in bile duct remain in the sheep. Bright disease affect human body in the part of the kidney. Bright disease affect human body in the part of the bright disease affect human body in the part of the kidney. Bright disease affect human body in the part of the kidney. Bright disease affect human body in the part of the kidney. Which disease is not so contagious? Bright disease affect human body in the part of the bright disease affect human body in the part of the kidney. Pneumoconiosis affect the workers who work mainly in the coal mining industry. Which disease is not so contagious? That is jaundice. Rickets disease is in poultry bird is caused due to the deficiency of which of the following? D. The battle of the mad cow disease is prions. Mad cow disease is dangerous disease related to the brain of the cattle disorder. The blood glucose level is commonly expressed as the milligram blood glucose milligram per deciliter. Milligram per deciliter. The blood glucose level is generally milligram per deciliter or more. 82 to 110 मिलीग्राम पर डेसीलीटर सॉल्टी आफ्टर ब्लड 140 हो जाता है. रामू इन्फेक्शन इन्फेक्ट्स इन एक्सेस अमाउंट. E super transfers unusual low. Which of the following disease can be controlled by vaccination? Diabetes cannot be controlled by vaccination. Sorry, diabetes. Sorry, the following are associated with diabetes, high sugar level and low insulin level in the blood. Diabetes is the most common disorder associated with the pancreas. Diabetes is caused by due to the malfunctioning of the diabetes is the most common disease associated with the pancreas. Diabetes is caused by the malfunctioning of the pancreas. Lack of which substance causes diabetes in a person? That is insulin. The person with diabetes. Measurement of the glycosylated hemoglobin HbA1c in blood is useful for the management of the diabetes. Drinking of whiskey increases the risk of frequency of urination. Which one of the following seed can benefit a patient of diabetes mellitus by normalizing his blood sugar level? Which one of the following that is the fenugreek seed. Curry leaf tree native to India has the essential of multi-dollar production of pharmaceutical companies as painting. Hormone insulin is the hormone insulin which is used in treating diabetes was discovered by painting. Common side effect of using bleeding. Emphysema is a disease caused by environmental pollution in which affected organ is the emphysema. Emphysema is a disease. Emphysema is a disease caused by the environmental pollution in which of the affected organ of the body, that is the lungs. Emphysema is a disease caused by the environmental pollution in which of the affected organ of the body. Emphysema is a disease caused by environmental pollution in which the affected organ of the body, that is lungs. Which is about the aspirin is not true. It is a neurological active drug. It is a anticoating action. CPR is the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardiopulmonary CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardiopulmonary is the CPR stands for the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR stands for the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Which is statement resuscitation. Cardiopulmonary refers to stand for the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR stands for the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Which statement about this is not true. It is an anti-active drug. It has anti-blood clotting factor. Acetylsalicylic acid. It is also known as anti-salicylic acid, which is used to treat pain, fever, and inflammation. In coronary artery bypass surgery, the blood vessel to use as graft has to be that is the vein from the leg, artery from the forearm. In coronary artery bypass surgery, the blood vessel to use from the memory region of the chest. In which of the following department of hospital will cath lab be found? In the cardiology. The nutrition deficiency condition that needs to be given proper priority for remedial action in India today is the xerothalamus. Liatherism is caused by the excessive consumption of खेसारी dal. Which pulse causes blank capsules used in the dispensing are made of starch and gelatin? Blank capsules used in dispensing are made of gelatin and starch. Which of the following statement is correct? Virus can infect. Which of the following statement correct? Okay, viruses can infect bacteria, plant और fungi सबको. Which one of the following is not correctly matched? I think I have to more. Which one of the following is not correctly matched? That is the wheat, Claris minor, Clarisis minor, potato, lead blight, bajra, ergot, or mildew. With the wheat, grape, barley, onion, apple and pea. Not order mildew, that is the wheat, grape, barley, onion, apple and pea. The following not order rice, green hair, bajra, ergot, pea, powdery mildew, gram, wilt. Paddy, brown leaf spot. Paddy, that is the brown leaf spot. पैडी से क्या होता है, ब्राउन लिप स्पॉट होता है. वीट से क्या होता है, ब्लैक रस्ट होता है. शुगर केन से क्या होता है, रेड रॉट होता है. और पीजन पी अरहर से क्या होता है, दैट इज विल्ट डिजीज, उकथा रोग, उकथा रोग. ठीक है, देखो पैडी से क्या होता है, ब्राउन लिप स्पॉट हो जाएगा. वीट से क्या होगा, ब्लैक रस्ट हो जाएगा. और फिर शुगर केन से रेड रॉट होगा. देखो शुगर केन से रेड रॉट होगा. वीट से ब्लैक स्पॉट हो जाएगा. वीट से ब्लैक स्पॉट हो जाएगा. पैडी से ब्राउन लीफ स्पॉट हो जाएगा. और इससे विल्ट डिजीजेस. साउंड डिजीज ऑफ वीट इज अ साउंड ऐसे हूँ. Citrus canker is a disease affecting citrus caused by the bacterium Xanthomonas. बैक्टीरिया हो गया. ठीक है. रेड रॉट डिजीज ऑफ द caused by the fungus Colitrichum falciparum. Colitrichus falciparum. Colitrichus falciparum. ठीक है, Colitrichus falciparum. Colitrichum falciparum. फंगस के बाद कृष्णा कांड डिजीज. कृष्णा कांड डिजीज इज पोटैटो का है, जिसकी वजह से क्या होता है, when the tuber do not receive enough oxygen, blacking of the tuber हो जाता है. ये क्या है, dyes from the jet black. सेम डिजीज निमाटोड्स की वजह से होता है. Nematodes are the causal organism of the ear-cockle disease. It is not caused by the insect. ठीक है. सबसे पहले क्या है, साइट्रस कैंकर बैक्टीरिया की वजह से होता है. रेड रॉट डिजीज ऑफ द स्कॉर्पियन फंगस की वजह से होता है. कृष्णा कांड डिजीज ऑफ द पोटैटो किसकी वजह से होता है, दैट इज द एक्यूट ऑक्सीजन डिफिशिएंसी हुआ तो. और सेवन डिजीज ऑफ वीट काउज होता है किसकी वजह से, दैट इज फ्रॉम द निमाटोड्स. Which of the following is not correctly matched? Paddy, wilt, mustard, white rust of mustard, bajra, smut, groundnut, tikka. Deficiency of which of the following element causes yellow and poor growth of the plants? Nitrogen. The deficiency of which of the following element causes deficiency yellowing and the poor growth of the plants? Nitrogen. Poor growth तो nitrogen yellowing of the plant भी nitrogen produces. Which element deficiency causes chlorosis in maize plant? Chlorosis, that is zinc. White tip of maize in leaves indicate the deficiency of white tip of maize indicate zinc. White bird disease in plant cause the deficiency. White bird disease in plant is zinc की वजह से होता है. white bird हो जाएगा या chlorosis in maize. Rice blast disease is a fungal disease. Rice blast disease. White rust is prominent in the mustard. White rust is prominent fungal disease in the mustard. The deadly disease of the groundnut is लिखना पड़ेगा. मुझे तुमसे ही कहना प्लांट्स एंड इट्स डिजीज. याद नहीं हुआ है तुमको डिजीज. प्लीज लाइक एंड शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. Rice blast disease is a fungal disease. Rice blast disease is a fungal disease. White rust is permanent fungal disease of the mustard. Deadly disease of the groundnut is the ticca disease. Ticca disease. Parilla is pest of which crop? Sugarcane. Parilla. Mustard, white rust, bajra, smut, groundnut, ticca. और पैडी विल्ट नहीं होगा. विल्ट जो होता है वो ग्राम में चिकपी सुगरकेन टूर में होता है. डिफिशिएंसी ऑफ रिजल्ट में कॉजेज येलोइंग that is nitrogen, or which element deficiency causes chlorosis in zinc. White tip of maize, zinc. White bud disease is partly caused by the zinc. What causes black heart in potato? Oxygen deficiency. Yellow vein mosaic disease in okra is caused by the white fly. White fly. Yellow vein mosaic is a serious disease of the okra which is caused by the white fly. Spongy tissue is a serious disease hampering the export of the mango tree. It is Alfonso. Birds, dust blowing, rain, wind blowing. This will plant all of these. Tumoro virus of rice is spread by green leafhoppers. दो है RTSB है, that is राइस तुमरो स्पेरिकल वायरस और राइस तुमरो बेसिलिफॉर्म वायरस. What is this song? बहुत ही वाहियात सॉन्ग गाते हैं तो. तुमरो वायरस ऑफ द राइस इज स्प्रेड बाय किससे? दैट इज ग्रीन लीफ हॉपर्स. तुमरो वायरस ऑफ द राइस इज स्प्रेड बाय द ग्रीन लीफ हॉपर्स. First smut is a disease found in the paddy, not barley. It causes chalkiness of the grains which lead to reduction in the grain weight. It also reduces seed germination. शुक्रिया. Rust is a disease found in the wheat, potato, or Khaira is a disease found in the paddy, and the smut is disease found in the paddy. Two common fungal diseases of the wheat are the black rust and the smut disease. Black rust and the smut disease. Kernal bunt is a disease of the wheat crop. Kernal bunt is a disease of the wheat crop. Kernal bunt is a disease of wheat crop. ठीक है तो Microsatellite DNA is used in the case of which of the following? Studying of relation among various species of fauna. Microsatellite DNA is used in case of which of the following? कितने गिले इतने दिन बाद। दीदी आपकी वॉइस बहुत अच्छी है। हाँ। Microsatellite DNA is used in the case of which one of the following? That is the सबसे पहला होता है कि studying the evolutionary relationship among various species of the fauna. Microsatellite as related to the genomics refers to a short segment of the DNA, usually 1 to 6 or more base pairs in length, that is repeated multiple times in succession at a particular genome location. These DNA sequences are typically non-coding. These DNA sequences are microsatellite are related to the genomic, refers to a short segment of DNA, usually 1 to 6 or more base pairs in length, that is repeated multiple times in succession at a particular genome. These DNA sequences are typically non-coding, that is the number of the repeated segment within a microsatellite sequence often varies among people, which makes them useful as polymorphic markers for studying inheritance patterns in families or for studying the evolutionary relationship among various species of the fauna. They are widely used for the DNA profiling in the cancer diagnosis, in kinship diagnosis analysis, especially paternity testing, and in the with reference to the recent development in science, which one of the following is not correct? Functional chromosome can be created by joining a segment of the DNA taken from the cells of the reference species. Pieces of the artificial function DNA can be created in laboratories. हो सकता है. A piece of the DNA taken from an animal cell can be made to replicate outside the living cell in a laboratory. ठीक है. Cells taken out from the plant and animal cell can be made to undergo cell division in laboratory practices. हो सकता है. Functional chromosome can be created by joining segment of DNA. नहीं हो सकता. Which of the following is the first human hormone produced by recombinant DNA technology, that is insulin. With reference to the recent development regarding the recombinant vector vaccines, consider the following statement. Genetic engineering applies in the development of these vaccines. Recombinant vector bacteria and viruses are used as a vector. Recombinant DNA technology, genetic engineering allows genes to be transferred across different species of the plant. Recombinant DNA technology across different species of the plant, from animals to the plant. And recombinant DNA technology, genetic engineering allows genes to be transferred across different species of the plant, from animals to the plants, ठीक है, और from microorganism to iron. Step of recombinant DNA technology are given below. Isolation, that is identification and isolation of the genetic material, obtaining the foreign gene product, obtaining the genetic isolation and the identification and the isolation of the genetic material. Steps of the recombinant DNA technology are given below. सबसे पहले क्या कर सकते हैं कि identification and the isolation of the genetic material, fragmentation of the DNA कर सकते हैं, isolation of the desired DNA fragments कर सकते हैं, उसके बाद amplification of the gene of the interest, उसके बाद that is ligation of the DNA fragmentation into the vector, उसके बाद transfer of the DNA into the host cell या organism, फिर obtaining the foreign gene product. दीदी आप जैसा सॉन्ग ऐसा ही कॉल आ गया मेरे, मैं सुन नहीं पाया. Steps in production. सबसे पहले क्या identification and isolation of the genetic material होगा, फिर fragmenting the obtained DNA होगा, फिर isolation of the desired DNA fragment, फिर amplification होगा of the gene of the interest, फिर litigation of the DNA fragment into the vector, फिर transfer of the recombinant DNA into the host cell organism, फिर obtaining the foreign gene product, and उसके बाद सबसे लास्ट में होगा downstream processing. सबसे पहले क्या होगा, सबसे पहले हो जाएगा कि identification and the isolation of the genetic material, फिर fragmenting the obtained DNA, isolation of the desired DNA fragment, फिर amplification of the gene of the interest, फिर होगा litigation of the DNA fragmentation into the vector, litigation of the DNA fragment into the vector, फिर transfer of the recombinant DNA into the host या cell organism, फिर obtaining the foreign gene product, and लास्ट में obtaining the foreign gene product, और लास्ट में downstream processing. Scientists can cut apart and piece together DNA molecules at will, regardless of the source of the molecules. DNA fragment can be manipulated using restriction endonucleases and DNA ligases. Scientists can cut apart and piece together DNA molecules at will, regardless of the sources of the molecules. DNA fragment can be manipulated using restriction endonucleases and DNA ligases. So the following is correctly meant. Ligases, molecular stitchers, ठीक है, ligases, that is the molecular stitchers. Which of the following technologies is used to create personalized medicine based on the patient genetic makeups? CRISP technology होना चाहिए. Personalized medicine, also known as the personalized medicine, also known as precision medicine, is an emerging approach to tailor medicinal treatment, that is medicinal treatment. Personalized medicine, also known as the precision medicine, is an emerging approach to tailor medical treatment to individual patient. It often relies on the patient's unique genetic profile to guide prevention, diagnosis and therapy. Also, all four given technology, that is the CRISPR, nanotechnology, robotics, and the future have rose in advancing personalized precision medicine, especially when tailoring interventions to a patient's genetic makeup or individual profile. CRISPR is the direct tool for gene-based personalization, while nanotechnology and 3D bioprinting provide a personalized delivery system, and the biological product and robotics enables the practical implementation of the personalized. देखो क्या होता है कि सबसे पहले CRISPR is a direct tool for gene based personalization, while nanotechnology and 3D printing provide personalized delivery system, and biological product and robotics enable the practical implementation of the personalized treatment. Because of this overlapping contribution, what is Cas9? It is a molecular fusion targeted gene using the targeted gene editing. RNA interference, that is RNAi technology, has gained popularity in the last few years. It is used in developing gene silencing therapies. Can be used in developing therapies for the treatment of cancer. It can be used to develop hormone replacement therapies. Can be used to produce crop plants that are resistant to the viral pathogens. सब होना चाहिए. RNA interference technology has gained popularity in the last few years because it is used in developing gene silencing therapy. It can be used in developing therapies for the treatment of cancer, and it can be used to produce crop plants that are resistant to viral. What is the expanded form of the term mRNA that has been widely messenger? In the context of the recent advances in is used for prevention of the motor disease of offspring. Pronuclear transfer is used in the prevention of the mitochondrial disease of the offspring. In the context of the hereditary disease, consider the following. Passing on mitochondrial disease from parent to child can be prevented by replacement therapy either before or after in vitro fertilization. Either before or after in vitro. ठीक है. A child inherited mitochondrial disease innately from mother and not from father. एकदम ये गलत है. ठीक है. A child inherited mitochondrial disease innately from mother and not from father. ये गलत है. ठीक है. A child developed inherit mitochondrial disease entirely from mother and not from father. ये सरासर गलत है दोनों से. Dolly was the first assassin. Dolly was the first clone mammal. Dolly was produced by in vitro fertilization. In vivo fertilization. Clone from adult somatic cells successfully by the conventional cloning technique. Which of the fact about Dolly is the first mammal clone from an adult somatic cell is not correct. Dolly was born in the year 1988. She was born on 5 July 1996 and died on 14 February 2003. दीदी मैं 23 जुलाई से शुरू किया था एसएससी के लिए पढ़ने पर. मेरा 2 सितंबर को सीटेट का पेपर है. अब मुझे सीटेट का पढ़ना होगा आज से. अच्छा, अभी सीटेट पे ही ध्यान दो. अभी है तुम्हारे पास पूरा टोटल 1 मंथ, 2 दिन कम, 28 days you have. सीटेट is also necessary. Dolly was a female domestic sheep and the first Dolly was a sheep Dolly was a female domestic sheep, was the first female clone from an adult somatic cell. She was cloned at the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, 5 July 2019 and died on the 14th February from an adult cell lung disease and 5 months before 7th birthday. Which of the following is the first living clone genetic engineered organism by human? It is Dolly, woman the cloning was a clone animal, that is sheep. Sheep. Scientists of the NDA canal developed the second clone of which of the following below. इसका नाम था हैंड गाइडेड क्लोनिंग टेक्निक, दैट इज नाम था समरूपा. गरिमा 2 is the name of the clone fellow. Ganga India is India's first clone cow born in March 2023 belongs to which breed? That is Gir. Ganga India's first clone cow born in March 2023 belongs to which breed? Gir. Which country has produced the first transgenic growing pig that are green from outside out? Taiwan. Injaj, the name of the camel. Injaj. Which of the following statement about a clone of an organism is correct? A clone is produced asexually. In the case of the test tube baby, fertilization takes place outside the mother's body. Consider the following effects of the organism genetic engineering. Consider the following effects of the genetic engineering. D ka 1 2 3, D ka 1 2 3. That is the disease resistance, growth promotion or animal cloning. Match list 1 with the list 2. Discovery of the transaction and conjugation in the bacteria. At present, the scientists can determine the remnant or the relative position of genes or DNA sequence on a chromosome. How does this knowledge benefit us? It is possible to know the pedigree of the livestock, and it is possible to develop disease-resistant animal breeds. It is possible to understand the cause of all human diseases. Discovery of transaction and conjugation in the bacteria. Discovery of the transaction. Namaste, Saurabh Suman. Discovery of the transaction and conjugation in the bacteria by the Lideberg. Establishment of the sex-linked inheritance. Morgan. Isolation of the DNA polymerase from E. coli. Cornman. Isolation of DNA polymerase from E. coli. Cornman. Stabilizing the complete genetic code. Corona. Discovery of the transaction and the conjugation in bacteria was done by Discovery of the transaction and the conjugation in bacteria was done by Discovery of transaction and conjugation in bacteria was done by Discovery of the transaction and conjugation in bacteria is done by Lideberg. Stabilizing the sex-linked inheritance by the Morgan. Isolation of the DNA polymerase from the E. coli. Korenberg, and establishing the complete genetic code. Corona. The sequencing of the entire gene of an organism was done. The sequencing of the entire gene of an organism was done in 1996. East का the sequencing of the entire gene of an organism was done in 1996. That is the East. The sequencing of the entire gene of an organism was done in 1996. That is East. World level program, Human Genome Project is related with the identification and making of the human gene and its sequence. The cells which have the capacity to divide and difference into any type of the cells, stem cells. With reference to the stem cell, frequently the news stem cell can be derived from mammals only. ये गलत है. Stem cell can be derived from screening, can be used for screening new drugs. ठीक है. Stem cell can be used for medicinal therapies. Which of the following statement is not true with regard to the transplantation of the stem cells in animals? They are found only in embryo. They multiply themselves throughout the lifespan of an animal. They repair the damaged tissue where they have the capacity to reproduce one or more types of specialized cells. The stem cell can regenerate themselves into in vitro virtually forever. Indian Research Center also created a few cell lines which do not develop into many types of the tissue. नहीं. With reference to the latest development in stem cell research, consider the following statement. The stem cell can generate themselves into in vitro virtually forever, can regenerate themselves into the in vitro virtually forever. Stem cells can be derived without causing this. The stem cells can regenerate themselves into in vitro. The stem cell can be derived without cause. No, sorry. The stem cells can regenerate themselves in vitro virtually forever. Indian research centers also created a few cell lines which can be developed into many types of cells. Baapre. Which one of the following is the bioethically non-controversial source of stem cells as an alternative to the highly controversial embryonic stem cells? That is bone marrow derived stem cells. Genetic changes can be introduced in the cells that produce cells or the sperm of the prospective parent. Genetic changes can be introduced in the cells that produce eggs or the sperm of a prospective parent. A person's genome can be edited before birth at the early embryonic stage. A person's genome can be edited before birth at the human-induced pluripotency can be injected into the embryo of a pig. What is the application of somatic cell nuclear transfer technology? क्यों? modified crop plant. Bollgard 1 and Bollgard 2 technology are mentioned in the context of the developing genetically modified crop plant. The microorganism which is associated with the production of the Bt cotton is bacterium. Insect-resistant transgenic cotton has been produced by inserting Bt. A genetically engineered form of brinjal in one material has been developed. The purpose of this is to pest resistant. Cry 1AC. Indian cry Bt brinjal is developed for the pest resistant. Bt brinjal is a genetically modified plant. Bt brinjal is created by inserting a gene from small fungus into a genome. The seed of the gene are terminator seeds and therefore the permanent octopi. There is a apprehension that the consumption during the health. There are some concerns that the introduction of Bt brinjal may have affected the biodiversity. The genetic mode of mustard statement. Mustard has the genes that allow the plant cross-pollination and hybridization. GM mustard has the genes that allow the plant cross-pollination and hybridization. Others than resistant to pest. What are the prospects for which genetic modification has been created? To drought clear, to increase the nutritive value of the produce, or to increase their shelf life. With reference to the agriculture in India, how can the technique of the genome sequencing often used in the news can be used in the immediate future? Genome sequencing can be used to identify genetic markers for disease resistance and drought tolerance in various crop plants. This technique helps in reducing the time required to develop new varieties of the crop plant. With regard to agriculture in India, genome sequencing can be used to identify genetic markers for disease oh my god. Genome sequencing can be used to identify genetic markers for disease resistance and drought tolerance in various crop plants. This technique helps in reducing the time required to develop new variety of the crop plant. It can be used to decipher the host pathogen. Budding and grafting in fruit plant. Cytoplasmic transgenic crop. Which of the following is used to create transgenic crop? Cytoplasmic sterility, male sterility, and gene silencing. Consider the following techniques used for the phenomenon, that is cytoplasmic male sterility and gene sequencing. Cytoplasmic male sterility and gene sequencing. Bacteria, fungi, or flowering plant. Some species of which of the are employed as pesticides? Bacteria, fungi, or flowering plants. Which of the following is a microbial insecticide? Rejuvenating. Bacteria is used as a biological insecticide. Indian farmers are unhappy over the introduction of terminator seed technology because the seed technology are expected to give rise to plant incapable of formidable viral seeds. The controversial terminator seed backed by the developed nation seeds to provide pathologically improved variety of seed which are used to yield sterile seed for Nigeria. Biotechnology derived. Biotechnology improved variety of the seed which are ensured to yield sterile seed for next generation. Terminal technology promotes the sale of which of the following that is generated by it. Transgenic fertile seed, gene modified plant, a genetically engineered seed sterile in the next generation. Which of the following is a transgenic plant? Golden rice is a transgenic plant. दूध रोटी केला खाएंगे क्या? Which of the following is a transgenic plant? Golden rice is a biotechnological achievement to the benefit of the consumer as much as the farmers. Golden rice क्या होता है? Golden rice, a transgenic rice having gene for protein. The primary utility of golden rice in combating vitamin A deficiency, the world's leading cause of the blindness which affect. The golden rice contains beta protein which comes from the daffodil, not carrot. ठीक है, daffodil से आता है. ठीक है. Just following not generating cheese, engineering plasmid, gene vitamin A और ओजोन ट्रोपोस्फेयर. ओजोन लेयर कहाँ पे है? स्ट्रेटोस्फेयर में है. ठीक है. जेनेटिक चीज़ का क्या होता है? जेनेटिक प्लाज्मिड का यूज़ होता है एंड और golden rice vitamin A. Super rice was developed by the J.S. Ghosh, KCATR मतलब super rice was developed by J.S. Ghosh. Amniocentesis is a method used to determine the fetal sex. Amniocentesis is a method used to determine the fetal sex. In the context of the development or in bioinformatics, the term transcriptome sometimes not CA, that is current affairs. In the context of the development in bioinformatics, the term transcriptome sometimes used refers to the full range of mRNA molecules expressed by full range of the mRNA molecules expressed by biochip contains both RNA, DNA and protein. क्या हुआ? खा लो ना कुछ. Biochip contain RNA, DNA, protein. Genetechnology is technique for pre-information regarding genetic diseases. Technique for pre-information regarding genetic disease. Genetechnology is a technique for pre-information regarding genetic disease such as the prenatal investigation regarding the disease in the fetus. Technique for pre-information regarding genetic disease. Who synthesize the DNA in vitro? Kornberg. Biofilms can form on medical implant within human tissue. Biofilms can form on food and food processing surfaces. Biofilms can exhibit antibiotic resistance. Yes, not UPSC, BPSC. एक या दो रोटी? हाँ ठीक है. Biofilms can exhibit antibiotic resistance. Biofilms can form on the food and the food processing surfaces, and biofilms can form on medical implants in the human tissue. Aerial metagenomics best refers to which of the following situation? Collecting DNA samples from air inhabited at one rate. Aerial metagenomics best refers to which one of the following situation? Collecting DNA samples from air inhabited at one go. Different approaches comes under the category of biotechnology, use of the living organism substance obtained from them in industrial processes. Okay. Which one of the following approaches comes under the category of biotechnology, use of the living organism or the substance obtained from them in industrial processes? With reference to the role of the biofilters in recirculating aquaculture system, consider the following statement. सबसे पहला है biofilter provide waste treatment by removing uneaten phosphate. Biofilter convert ammonium present in waste to nitrate. Biofilter increases phosphorus as nutrient. Oh my god. ठीक है. Biofilters are used to remove the biophosphorus waste byproduct generated by fish. Biofilter provide waste treatment by removing uneaten phosphorus. डिप्रेशन टेंशन मतलब हिस्ट्री रखेंगे, याद रखना मैम मुझे बन जाने के बाद. अरे ज़रूर, हमारा कोर्टिसोल लेवल है. आई ऑल्सो थिंक सो. ऐसे आई कैसे बनोगे और टेंशन हैज़ बीन डिवाइडेड. हाँ मे बी यू आर करेक्ट. Which of the following is recently evolved in genetic engineering? Genetic mapping. Which of the following is used in genetic engineering? Plasmid. Two bacteria found to be very useful in genetic engineering experiments are E. coli and the agrobacterium. Two bacteria used in the genetic engineering experiments are the E. coli and the agrobacterium. E. coli and the agrobacterium. Two bacteria found to be very useful in genetic engineering experiment are E. coli. What are you doing in S wrong path? Let's go. What are you doing in this wrong path? Wrong path. Two bacteria found to be very useful in genetic engineering experiment are E. coli and agrobacterium. With reference to the bacteriophage, which statement is correct? Both 1 and 2. Bacteriophage are biodead bacteria which are used in genetic engineering. If a mouse of over 8 times in size has been produced by human growth, it means it is involved in the genetic engineering. Blood cells, sperm cells, hair stain or saliva, all. Gene fingerprinting has become a powerful tool to establish paternity and identity of the criminals in rape and assault cases. The basis of the DNA fingerprinting is the error DNA polymorphism. Exam will be conducted in October, so I guess I am on the right path. Mains plus often preceded by optional bus MCQs based रहता है, so I haven't to go through a lot. And mains के लिए mains optional preceded by switch to 6 months. Okay, thank you for the recommendation. The basis of the fingerprinting is the DNA polymorphism. Which one of the following techniques can be used to establish the paternity of a child? Fingerprinting is one of the following is given for proving paternity. The latest technique used to establish identity of a human being based on the technology principle is the DNA fingerprinting is used in the following area, that is the forensic cases, paternity dispute, conservation of the endangered living species. The first crime ever solved using the DNA fingerprinting technique was in England in the year 1983. The first crime 1983 में हुआ था. Fingerprinting is used in the following area: forensic cases, paternity dispute, conservation of endangered living. In addition to the fingerprinting scanning, which of the following can be used in the biometric identification of a person? Iris scanning, retina scanning, and the voice recognition. The powder used for the developing fingerprints ornament is the fluorescent powder. The new class of powder used for developing or non-porous plastics powder. I am a declared process. Which of the following is not achieved by transgenics? Changing in the base sequence within the gene is called the mutation. When one gene controls two or more different characteristics emerging, the phenomenon is called the pleiotropy. In gene therapy, to correct the functioning of a faulty gene, लक्ष्मी हुआ क्या मतलब? लक्ष्मीकांत तो नहीं हुआ है, बट मीन्स के रिलेटेड 5-6 चैप्टर कर लिया क्वालिटी. The 2024 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to Victor Ambrose and Gary Rubin for discovering microRNAs. Ayush is a domain of the Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy.